Hello and welcome back to the Twickenham Stoop for the second part of our double header here from Harlequins ground. We've seen the RAF ladies stomp to victory this afternoon, and now the RAF will be facing the Navy men again here at the Twickenham Stoop. We're so lucky to be here for a showcase of military rugby, and also joining me now is, very relevantly, we have player development manager of Harlequins, but of course ex-Army, so he's going to be neutral, ex-Army head coach Andy Sanger. Andy, I mean, it's like a home of homes to you now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we as a club are really pleased to be hosting the first inter-service game, and I think it's going to be a cracker.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've had the women's game. That was quite obviously a win for the RAF, but, you know, a vast improvement from the Navy, which we're seeing year on year. But the men's games are a little bit tighter, and they certainly were last year.
Yeah, it'll be, and I think it'll be tough again tonight. I mean, there's been mixed fortunes, arguably, for the RAF, but the Navy have gone really strong. You know, a resounding victory against Marine National. So, yeah, it'll be a good game tonight.
And there is a sort of host of names that we always are looking out for in the RAF and the Army and the Navy side. But, you know, those big players don't make a team. But, you know, they've got to have good 14 people around them and the rest of the team as well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I agree with it, but there's some key players on both sides. I mean, obviously, Josh McNally, you know, is a standout player for the RAF, and he probably adds sort of 15-20% to them. So I think him coming back into the team tonight will be, you know, be a big bonus for them. But then you know, look at the Royal Navy side, Josh Massavese, Hayler, Gareth Rees, you know, that access in the back row in the line, it'll be really good, a good battle.
Like I said, it had been really tight games, and it was actually here last year that the RAF won before we went to Twickenham proper, in a sense, so before the Army-Navy game had finished. What does that do to the championship? I mean, it didn't do anything to the Army-Navy game, but it was so special for the RAF to win it here.
Yeah, no, clearly as an Army player, I'd say that we let them win because it was 100 years of the RAF. But no, credit to them, they were really good last year. And I'm just glad that the way the service competition expanding, the fact that the Army RAF is going to the King's Home as well, yes, it was great for the competition, great that all three teams are competitive, and yeah, we'll see how it goes tonight.
I mean, obviously with your Army hat on, and I know that hasn't been the case for about 12 months, but with that Army hat on, will they be looking a lot and very closely at this game? I assume everyone's here, you know, to sort of see what they're up against.
Well, the Army, I believe they're in the training camp in Portugal, so they're probably, I know they've got their analysts filming it tonight, and they've asked me for some feedback as well, so I think I'm going to have to give it. But yeah, so they'll probably be watching in Portugal as we speak.
And what does it bring to a game when you play it somewhere like at Harlequins? Because I guess, you know, the boys are used to playing at Twickenham, but now we've got this, then Gloucester, you know, Premiership ground, then, you know, home of rugby. It must do something for the game as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's the RAF in particular. You know, we've played traditionally at Halton, and much as I like RAF Halton, it's not necessarily the great pitch. You know, a beautiful track here tonight, so some good open running rugby.
Will you still be heavily involved this year? I know you're coming to Twickenham to do some commentary. You're commentating tonight alongside John Knighton and Simon Ward. So, you know, you're still heavily involved, like a double-hatted in sort of way.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, 30-odd years in the Army, so it's still very dear to me. But I just want to say a good game of rugby tonight. Best team win, and then bring on King's Home, bring on Twickenham.
And Andy, I mean, you know, on comms tonight, you'll be able to bring so much to the rugby. You know, do you enjoy that sort of talking rugby still? I guess it's your life, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, I do it day in, day out now, so it is absolutely my life. But yeah, I'm passionate about service rugby, and really looking forward to it.
Great. Andy Sanger, thank you very much. Enjoy your comms. We'll let you go up to the commentary box. Thank you. Andy Sanger, their player development manager for Harlequins, and the teams are out. So we'll just watch them, and there'll be obviously national anthem, and they'll be meeting some dignitaries as well.
Well, welcome back to the Twickenham Stoop, the second part of this feast of inter-services rugby here today between the RAF and the Royal Navy. And we are so looking forward to this match tonight. It's going to be an absolute cracker if last year's game was anything to go by. Andy Sanger is sat alongside me. And also Simon Ward as well, Sky commentator. I'm really sat in the wrong seat here. He should be here who's doing this. But gentlemen, great to have you with us this evening tonight. And Andy, just been talking to Kath, obviously looking ahead to this game, and with your Harlequins hat on, and I'm sure a little bit
stash.
of interest. Yeah,
and full stash.
Absolutely. You know, this is a great occasion, isn't it? This is turning into a great match now between the Navy and the RAF.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as a club, I just said to Cal, we're really looking forward to it, to be hosting this game. It just adds to the spectacle that is service rugby.
And Simon, obviously you're here on a bit of a scouting mission, I imagine, ahead of the Army-Navy game. But you know, the RAF, of course, are inter-services champions. They've won it twice in the last 3 years. They are here very much on merit. They're a great side.
Absolutely right, and that's why it's always fascinating to see this first match out, as to see how the new season is or the new campaign is going to develop. And this actually will tell us so much about the way that this tournament will go.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's have a look at the two teams, shall we? While they're obviously just receiving their messages from the people, the senior VIPs here, looking at the first of all the RAF team, the home side here tonight. And obviously there are several players who stand out, and they've got a fantastic front line, haven't they, with Stu Philpott, Dave Manning, and you only have to look at Josh McNally as well. They're a formidable lineup. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, their forward pack has been their sort of strength for the last sort of 4 or 5 seasons. Dave Manning, who's now skipper, he's a formidable prop, and Josh in the second row had so much dynamism to the game. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
Bit of inexperience maybe on the in the backs tonight as well. With I think it's first cap for Sam Morby this evening as well, and Toby Evans as well. Sam Randall only got 3 caps as well at fullback, so there's going to be quite a lot, hinging on them. But there's a youth and experience mixture. We'll come back after the national anthems. Proud servicemen, all of them stood there, the 30 starters this evening. Let's very quickly look at the Navy team as well before they break for the start. And you only have to again look at Ben Priddy. 30 caps tonight for the Navy, making him, I think, the third most capped player in Navy rugby history.
Yeah, I expect to see Ben at the back of a lot of driving mauls today for the Navy pack. But then you look at their back row, you look at Gareth Rees at 9. Setter in the centre, they've got some strong, powerful players, so it'll be some big collisions tonight.
Interesting choice of captain as well. Ben Priddy not captaining the team. You've got Scott Makepeace instead. Interesting.
Yeah, Scott's, he's a relatively young player, but he's technically very good in the second row, so, maybe that technical aspect and combined with his leadership will be a good thing.
Okay, we're just about ready to go then here with the all the pleasantries completed, all the warm-ups done, all the training. We're into the serious business then of this first match in the men's senior inter-services championship. The RAF in their light blue, they'll be going from right to left here at the Twickenham Stoop. Our referee, Captain Nicky O'Donnell tonight, with assistants Major Ian Farrell and WO1 Martin Bentley. Isn't it great to see Nicky O'Donnell refereeing this match this evening? And away we go. A good start, absolutely essential, of course, for both of these sides here tonight. What are you expecting in these early stages?
I think in the early stages, you're just about to see Gareth Rees put up a box. There'll be plenty of that in the first sort of 15-20 minutes, and some big collisions and some feisty rugby, I would suggest.
Both packs will want to dominate from the start here and show their domination. It's McDougall getting his 4th cap tonight, but quickly the RAF spreading the play onto that right-hand side. They're under 23s. Of course, the Navy under 23s have had a very successful time, haven't they? And it's good to see some young players coming into both sides. Yeah,
the credit to the Navy. They've got a really good mix and some experience and some youngsters. So it'll be good to see how they blend tonight.
Out of play, and a chance straight away for the line out. What are your early thoughts, Simon, so far?
Well, interesting to see the Navy taking that kicking option straight away. Gareth Rees, obviously the key cog in the way that the Navy machine rolls, but his kicking accuracy, taking them straight into the 22, putting pressure on the RAF immediately, and already now a big line out for the RAF.
Interesting to see how dominant these packs are. Josh McNally is going to make such a difference, of course, for the RAF. They've not had him at all in their build-up to the campaign, but he's definitely here tonight, and he'll make his presence felt. It's astonishing how one man really sometimes can make such a difference.
Yeah, I mentioned before the game, I think he brings sort of 15-20% to the RAF side. And interested in that McDougall, a decent kick to relieve pressure, and will be, I think the RAF will be able to compete.
But it's the Navy who bring it clear. That's a good charge forward straight away for them from Brad James. Across to the scrum half, Gareth Rees. And the Navy with a real opportunity here. Both teams showing their intent early on in this first half. Into the 22 for the Navy. Spread nicely, good play there from Ben Watson. Watson out to Dimmock Williams. The Navy, RAF having to defend here. And a penalty.
Some good play from the Navy then. Their decision making in contact was excellent. They offloaded when it was on, but took the contact and recycled really well. So bodes well for the Navy so far.
Early doors here, what do you think they'll go? Will they go for goal here, or do you think it looks like they're going to go for goal? Get an early 3 points on the board, possibly?
Psychologically, it's always big, isn't it, to get points on the board. And the way that the Navy have, well, not stretch the RAF, but use that width early doors, they've got to come away with some points as a reward for that.
Well, Gareth Rees is going to go for goal. Just 3 minutes gone here at the Stoop. No score so far, but I think both sides have already shown their attacking intent in these early few minutes.
Nate Huntley back on the bench for the Navy tonight. Obviously had that problem against, I think, Exeter, wasn't it? But Gar Rees is such a key component, both from kicking off the tee and the way that they play. He's got to nail points now.
And here he goes. And it's gone wide. He hasn't nailed that. So the first opportunity gone for the Navy. It remains 0-0.
Yeah, Gareth will be disappointed with that. He didn't really connect. The key thing is how he deals with that. Just puts it behind him and gets on, do his next job.
We have got a bit of a swirling wind as well around the Stoop tonight as well, and that's going to make it interesting for any sort of kicks that come up. But the Navy once again have it. Rees again. Playmaking out into touch.